Jai Hind, and today's update is on the Baloch rebels killing 214 Pakistani soldiers, which is a crisis of Pakistan's own making. In a shocking escalation, Baloch rebels have claimed responsibility for executing 214 Pakistani army personnel, attributing the bloodshed to Pakistan's unwavering stubbornness in dealing with the long-standing Balochistan conflict. This event, if confirmed, would be one of the deadliest blows to Pakistan's military in recent history. However, rather than introspection, Pakistan has predictably resorted to its favorite tactic, blaming India. Before I take you into the details of Baloch history and all the kind of details, let's also remember our former Prime Minister Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's historic peace initiative symbolized by the Lahore Express was met with Pakistan's betrayal as it orchestrated the Kargil intrusion in 1999. While Mr. Vajpayee extended a hand of friendship through diplomacy, Pakistan responded with aggression, attempting to capture India's territory in Kargil. This stark contrast, India's pursuit of peace versus Pakistan's obsession with conflict, remains a defining chapter in their turbulent history. Now let's understand the Balochistan crisis. It's a story of oppression and resistance. Balochistan, Pakistan's largest yet most neglected province, has been in a state of rebellion for decades. The region, rich in gas, gold and minerals, generates a significant portion of Pakistan's wealth, yet its people remain impoverished and marginalized and subjected to severe human rights abuses. Now, the Pakistani military's tactics in Balochistan include forced disappearances. Thousands of Baloch activists, students, and even journalists have been abducted by the military and intelligence agencies. Extrajudicial killings. Now, many of those disappeared are later found dead, often with signs of torture. Militarization. Entire villages have been razed, and military operations are common, often targeting civilians. So rather than engaging in political dialogue, Islamabad has treated the Baloch movement as an Indian-sponsored insurgency, ignoring the legitimate grievances of its own people. Now, this denial has only strengthened the resistance. Pakistan's insane blame game, India as a scapegoat. Each time Pakistan faces an internal uprising or a major attack, its knee-jerk reaction is to blame India. Here are some of the most absurd instances where Pakistan has tried to attack India's sovereignty. First, if you all remember Kulbhushan Jadhav's case 2016, Pakistan arrested an alleged Indian spy, Mr. Kulbhushan Yadav, claiming he was a raw operative running a Baloch insurgency. However, his so-called confession was extracted under dubious conditions, and Pakistan failed to provide credible proof in the International Court of Justice (ICJ). Second, Pulwama attack 2019. The Pakistan-based terrorist group Jaish-e-Mohammed claimed responsibility for the suicide bombing that killed 40 Indian CRPF soldiers. Despite this, Pakistani officials and media pushed the bizarre theory that India staged the attack to justify Baloch airstrikes. Third, Pakistani's economic crisis. Blame India. As Pakistan's economy crumbles with record inflation and IMF bailout and food shortages, its politicians have suggested that India is engaged in economic warfare against Pakistan, as if India does not have anything else to do. Now, what is a fact? The real reason for Pakistan's economic collapse is rampant corruption, military overspending, and lack of economic reforms. The fourth pointer is recent TTP attacks. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, a militant group once supported by Pakistan's own security agencies, has also turned against the state instead of acknowledging its past policies of harboring terrorists. Pakistan has accused India of funding the TTP despite clear evidences of the group's ties to the Afghan Taliban. Now, what is the reality? Pakistan refuses to accept. The execution of 214 Pakistani soldiers by Baloch rebels is not an Indian conspiracy. It's a direct consequence of Pakistan's brutal policies in Balochistan. The military's unchecked power, ethnic discrimination, and failure to engage in political solutions have fueled the insurgency. So rather than constantly shifting blame to India, Pakistan needs to face its own demons. The world is not blind to its hypocrisy while it harbors global terrorists like Hafiz Saeed and Masood Azhar. It continues to oppress its own people in Balochistan, Sindh, and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. If Pakistan refuses to change its course, it risks not only more such struggles or massacres like this one, but also the eventual disintegration of the state itself. The question is, how long can Pakistan survive on such lies? India is in this, certainly helping Balochistan, because India will teach lessons to Pakistan. But I also want to put an emphasis upon what Bangladesh has done to India when we had fought for them. Today, where are their loyalties? So India must also not lose herself for anyone. Yes, we are teaching lessons to Pakistan and it will learn its lessons for sure. Do share this video to the maximum and do subscribe to us, and do share what do you think about this entire episode in our comment section. Jai Hind and Jai Bharat.